Now, let's go into the business now. Looking at what we used to have, what was obtainable in the early 90s, stroke mid 90s, into the 2000s. In comparison to technology, what can you say in terms of user experience of these gadgets?
Well,
we had the likes of Nintendo, we had the likes of Sega, and the rest of them.
Atari and the rest.
Good. So, what can you say in terms of user experience? Is there anything new that has been introduced? What has been the experience? Does it make it unique? Is it satisfying in terms of the desire for these things? Talk to us about it.
Well, technology has evolved and a lot of things has changed, you know. So there are a lot of new gaming technologies now. There are a lot of different ways to experience gaming now compared to back in the days. You know, then it was still the same screen and controllers, you know, but now it's beyond that. Now we have technologies that can immerse you in the virtual world where you know, see yourself interacting and participating in the game like if you were actually there. You know how gaming has always been, you know, you watch it on the TV, but your mindset is it is you playing this football, it is you fighting in this game, it is you doing this. So where we are now, it is actually you physically moving your hands, turning your neck, you know, looking around and seeing yourself in a virtual space. You know, that is where we are now. We have evolved into the virtual world of gaming where you can actually interact physically as if those things were there. And you don't just, you react to them as well. You have these feedbacks now, you know.
Now, looking at the fact that in malls, especially the ones I've visited in Lagos, I realize that it's always very busy. It's more like a situation of a beehive, you know, in festive period. And of course, businesses within the mall tends to profit, or it rubs up, you know, on them positively, especially with regards to patronage and sales.
Yes.
But after the season, what happens next is more like, for the want of the right word, a graveyard. It's quiet. Yes. What happens to businesses like yours?
Well, like for us, we have
our peak time. How do you remain in business?
Yeah, we have our peak time and the non-peak times.
What are your peak times?
Yeah, for entertainment, you know, during the day you hardly see inflows of customers because, you know, either you're in school or you're at work, you know, or you're in your own place of business. But from, you know, say afternoon, evening, you know, that is when business really starts during the day.
But not compared to the festive periods.
The festive period is a holiday period, obviously.
Yes.
So we have high peak volumes during the holidays and festive period.
All right, now for those particular, you know, seasons that I just mentioned, what is your sales like on an average?
Well, we have, I would just say, holiday periods, our sales triple, if not quadruple, because we have influx. We have a huge...
For ordinary days, how much in a week do you realize in terms of your sales? Let's be very specific.
Well, for me, I will not go into specific in giving you the amount. Well, I wouldn't want to put that out there, but it's good. It's really good.
It's enough to go by.
It's more than enough to go by, you know. So compared to when you have a holiday, we can hardly accommodate everybody.
Really?
Yes, even with increased prices and all that, you cannot still accommodate. Wow. It's choking because you have, you know, this urgent need to experience this, you know,
people don't have that luxury of time, as it were, to wait.
Yes,
they just want to.
Yeah, even though you know the crowd is something else during these periods of, you know, festivity and holidays. It's something else. We have that in weekends as well. Saturdays, Sundays, it's also crazy, but not as crazy as holidays.
All right, now let's talk about Naira and Kobo. You invest, for instance, 3 million Naira or 5 million Naira into a business like this. at what point in this business can you be confident enough to say you're getting your ROI?
Okay, for this kind of business, depending on the nature and the structure, where you're located, in 2 months, 3 months, you can be looking at, if it's a small scale, you know, in 2-3 months, you know, if all things
Being equal.
in 2-3 months, we can be looking at seeing some very, very good returns. You know, but on a large scale, we're looking at 6 to 8 months, but it's definitely within a year.
Really?
Yes. So what happens is, if you want to keep expanding, or you just want to remain where you are, or you want to upgrade, that is when you start spending again. You know, and for the nature of my business, I'm always upgrading, because I'm always trying to catch up with technology. Once something new is out, we're the first to get it.
So that brings me to the question: when something is new, what happens to the previous one? Does it go obsolete?
Immediately. Sometimes, not all the time, but.
All right, so as we coast home, what would be your advice for someone who is an investor that might want to go into this particular field of endeavor?
Okay, for an investor, yeah, definitely they need to have a background knowledge of the business, understand the business, and also see the profit flow, see how lucrative it is. Having a proper understanding of the business is very important, you know. And maybe knowing a little bit about it, you know, most investors might not want to be bothered about how to play, or they just want to put in money and, you know, yield profits. So having an understanding of the daily flow, seeing what comes in and what goes out, is also very important.
All right, so thank you so much for your insightful thought on this very issue that we just had right about now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we've been talking with Mr. Anthony Ikenna, of course, the founder and chief innovator, InstaVR Game Cafe. He's been giving us his perspective about how to go into the business and, of course, what to expect, you know, in the long run. That's the much we can share with you on today's episode of the show. If by any means you did miss today, you can of course catch a repeat broadcast on our YouTube channel at iBrandTV. Till we come your way same time next week. My name remains Joshua Okata. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.